Used to rush to work and have no time for fun and spend half of my life on full highway.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a video that I've wanted to make for quite a while, but I kept putting it off because I wasn't sure how I wanted to convey my thoughts about it and my feelings. Today I was finally like, okay, screw it. Who cares? I mean, it's an honest conversation. Let's just talk about it. So my name is Nicole, and as you know, because you're on my channel, I do motherhood and lifestyle videos and just whatever I think is fun and want to do. A lot of vlogs for sure. I have fun with those. But today we're just going to talk about how being a mom is hard. And I don't mean like the stuff we normally talk about or hear about. We tend to talk a lot about like just the day-to-day logistics of like having your baby, diaper changing, and like all the little things like how you heat up their milk. I don't mean that. I'm talking more about the emotional and mental aspect of it that we feel bad about talking about, or we feel shame around. You're supposed to just say that life is great and motherhood is great and your kids are always great and it's always fun and wonderful and unicorns and sunflowers, and it's not. It's very much like a mind game. It affects a lot of things. So that's kind of what I want to talk about, because a lot of these things are very like tongue-in-cheek and you're not supposed to talk about it because your babies are angels. Your husband is just like, he's just your soulmate and he's so amazing. You should be grateful, of course. Like, you love your babies, you love your husband or your partner. Life is great, but sometimes it's not, and it's okay to talk about those times. So I am talking a little bit about my experience, but also I know a lot of other moms, even though it's something we don't like particularly talk about, we kind of joke about it because we don't want it to seem too serious. Like, we don't want to seem like we're serious, but we kind of want to put it out there, but we don't want people to take us too seriously because then they might like think we're negative. If I had known what to expect a little bit on the emotional front of what I would be going through, the hormones, some thoughts that I would have, it would have made me feel less alone. It would have given me an easier time to process my emotions and be like, hey, this is normal. It's not just me. I want to be the person that maybe shed some light on some things you might go through, that when you're going through them, it might catch you off guard, but that at least you'll be a little bit more equipped to be like, oh yeah, she did say I would feel this way, and this is completely normal, and it's okay to talk about this. And I know we're supposed to say, oh, but you might not go through this. There's probably a very high chance that you will go through at least one of these things. For sure. Yes, you're gonna love your babies. It's gonna all be fine. You get past it. And maybe you even want to warn your husband or your boyfriend or whoever that is raising the child with you, because they need to know there are times you're probably gonna want to kill them. You're gonna be like, get away from me. Go change your diaper. Oh, you got to sleep through the night again. Must be nice. I'm gonna kill you. I mean, I love you, but I want to kill you, but I love you. Because even though I have two kids, I have my son Julian and my daughter Juliana, I really didn't experience a lot of these things until I had my daughter. With my son, a few things I did experience, but for some reason, and I don't really know why, I experienced more of these the second time around. I have some laundry here I'm gonna fold while I talk to you guys because gotta multitask. So this is something that is talked about intuitively. We know that after having a baby, there's gonna be some physical discomfort regardless if you had a C-section or a vaginal delivery. You're hurting. Something on you is hurting. Stuff is leaking and engorged and moist. So that's probably the first thing you will notice, that when you get home and you're moving around and you're trying to go about your tasks, you're gonna feel a little crappy. Now, I know we try to gloss it over, and maybe some women feel no different and they feel great and energetic and just rays of sunshine, but more than likely you're going to be physically hurting, and that may kind of like low-key make you grumpy just because like no one likes to be in pain or have physical discomfort, but likely you'll try to gloss it over, you'll try to hide it. Just ask for help. Ask for help as much as you possibly can. Make things easier, place things in areas of your house. Like if you know you're gonna be spending a lot of time in your living room, you want to make things as easily accessible to you as possible. So keep the diapers, the burp cloths, everything that you need just on a regular basis throughout the day for the baby. Keep it as close to you as possible because you're not gonna wanna be moving. You wanna move, you wanna get your body moving, but you also don't want to move unnecessarily when you're trying to heal and recover. Sleep deprivation. Now, that's like the first thing everyone tells you. Yes, we all know newborns don't sleep, therefore we don't sleep, but I don't think that most of the time we understand the actual reality of it. Sleep deprivation, and you need to know this, will mess with your head, and you need to know that because you're going to experience some emotions, some thoughts that catch you off guard when you haven't slept in several days. I mean, one night of sleep deprivation is enough to make you feel a little crazy, but several nights in a row, which it's gonna be many nights, many nights of you not sleeping, it really is gonna take a toll on you. So just understand that you're gonna be sleep deprived. You and your partner will be sleep deprived. You will be more sleep deprived than they will be. You're gonna be grouchier. You're going to feel like a zombie or a mommy, I've heard people say before. And you're gonna look at your baby and you're gonna be so in love with them, and it's, you know, it's gonna be great, but there is going to be still that feeling of, dear God, I might die today. For me, and let me just tell you my experience with it specifically is that I was so happy to have my daughter, my second child. I'd wanted that for years. My heart was very full. I was very grateful to have my boyfriend, who from the get-go was just a great partner. I really didn't have anything to complain about, but I didn't always feel happy. And it's not because I wasn't. I was just so freaking sleepy. My brain gets foggy. It's hard for me to think. It's hard for me to even talk, if that makes any sense. I don't know if other people are like this. I'm sure they are. Obviously, if you suspect that you have postpartum depression, I mean, your doctor, as you follow up in the weeks after having your baby, your doctor should ask you, and they can kind of determine if you are suffering from that. And that is something that you want to talk to your doctor about. You just need to tell yourself, be kind with yourself, but also to just understand that it's completely normal. You just need some rest, that you're not crazy, you're not ungrateful. Just prepare yourself for that. It's important for you to know, but it will pass. It doesn't last forever. Vince, if you're watching, which inevitably I know you eventually will, I love you, and I don't want you to think that you did anything wrong or it was about you. It wasn't about you at all. But ladies, after having a baby, regardless if your partner has some leave from work or not, when they go back to work and you have to do it all by yourself, all day, all night, you may find yourself not always liking your partner. And I know that sounds bad, but let me explain. So let's just imagine it's been a couple of weeks with your baby and you and your partner. Let's assume this is your dynamic. Everybody has different arrangements. It's been a couple weeks. You're settling into your routine with your newborn. The period of your partner being able to stay home and help you is gone. They have to go back to work. They gotta go. So night times come and you are the one mainly responsible for getting up with the baby and doing all the things. No matter how many times they wake up, it's all you. You know, this is what you guys agreed to, right? They gotta go to work, they gotta get some rest. So, you know, you're the one breastfeeding or feeding the baby. So, you know, it makes sense for you to have to get up for the nighttime feed. Yeah, you're not gonna feel that way. What's gonna end up happening is you're gonna be waking up for potentially the second or third time in the same night, probably running off of a couple hours of sleep. You look over at your sleeping partner, just slumbering away, sleeping like an angel. Maybe snoring, which probably will make you wanna smother them in their sleep even more. Even if you agree to that arrangement, there will be nights you look over at them and they're sleeping away, just looking so peaceful, and you are going to hate them because they're sleeping and you're not. End of story. There are going to be times where you are going to resent your spouse for potentially no good reason, but in those moments where you are exhausted and you just want to get more than 2 or 3 hours of sleep in a row, and they're sleeping and they're gonna get up and get dressed and shower and have their breakfast and leave and go be with adults, even though they're going to work and it's not like they're doing anything particularly fun, but they're gonna go get to talk to other adults and be around other people out of the house, and you're sitting there in the dark. You feel like you are the only one awake in the entire world, and it can feel lonely. And I know that for all the moms that have been through this, you can remember at least one night where you sat there and were holding your baby and just cried. You were just sobbing. That may make you feel very resentful, and in that moment you just want to smack them and be like, hey, like, why am I doing this by myself? Keeping a good perspective and just being like, you know, they're not doing anything wrong and it's normal to feel this way. Kind of try to talk yourself through it. I would not recommend taking it out on them. If they're not doing anything wrong, try not to lash out, because there may be times where you find yourself keeping score because they're not there and you're there and you've changed a million diapers and you've had to also clean the house. You maybe haven't gotten a chance to shower. Again, it's not like they're going and off having a party and having a good time. They're going to work, but it can feel like they're getting the better end of the deal. And again, I think it also ties into just you're tired. You can feel like complete crap, sad, even angry, but at the very same time be happy and excited and grateful. It's a very confusing time. And it's funny because like almost everything I wrote down kind of like blends into the next one. You're going through the postpartum period, your hormones, you're healing, you're tired, and maybe you don't have all the help that you wish that you had, and you might find yourself crying. I don't consider myself like a huge crier, but even I found myself in tears. It's not something that I told Vince or, you know, wanted to rub in his face, or I really didn't even, if he watches this video, this might be the first time he ever knows about it. And you have to know that, you know, you're not alone. You'll get through it. Again, there's a lot going on. A lot of it's hormonal. And so you're not crazy, and you don't need to feel bad about having those moments of those challenging moments. There are days that I don't go, other than in the morning when my boyfriend is home before he goes to work. It's 9.5 hours where I go without talking to a single adult. And no one tells you how hard that is after a while, because at first you might not notice, but there comes a time where it's been a while that can feel very isolating. Now, I text with my friends, like we text more than anything, and that's fine, and that gives me a little bit of an outlet and a little bit of a sense of like community. Again, I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again. It's normal. So in situations like that, my suggestion, I mean, for me, I mainly just texted friends. I just try to keep in contact as much as possible, even if I couldn't talk to them on the phone, because usually your hands are full, so it is very hard to talk to people on the phone. But yeah, just keeping in touch with people as much as you can, even if it's like just your siblings. I would recommend just like reaching out to people if you need someone to talk to and feeling less isolated. And then this is kind of the last one that I wanted to touch on. This was a big one. You're gonna struggle with finding any time for yourself. And at first you're not gonna mind it, maybe. At first you're just in the thick of it. There's gonna come a time when your baby maybe is a little bit older, maybe 4 months old, 5, 6, whatever. And you are going to start realizing that you don't get any time to yourself, and craving that you time. And the time management is gonna get tricky. For example, you have taken care of your baby all day, so the nighttime comes and you put your baby down for bed. You have however many hours before you need to go to bed, and that is your free time. But then let's say your baby goes to bed at like 7:30 and you want your bedtime to be around 10:30, 11, somewhere around there. And so you have 3.5, 4 hours-ish, depending when you go to bed. You're like, okay, I can either take a shower and like pamper myself, or I could spend time with my spouse, with my partner, or watch a movie or watch a show and then just go to bed, call it an early night. I'm gonna have to be up early with the baby, and it will become this internal battle of what to prioritize. Like, what do you do? There were times where, you know, Juliana was asleep and I'm like, I don't have much time to enjoy this quiet time, this me time, and I'm not really sure what I want to do with these hours. I want to hang out with Vince. I want to, you know, us be able to have like keep that connection and have some us time, but also at the same time I want to be by myself in my room watching a show I want to watch. And you're going to be very conflicted in how you spend your free time. Honestly, I think what I did and what I would recommend is like switching off. So maybe one night you guys agree you're going to spend some time together, watch a movie. Maybe the next night you do your skincare routine, take a bath, pamper yourself, read a book, whatever. Maybe the night after that you watch a movie and then call it an early night, or whatever your needs might be. For me, it was always a struggle. Like, I know she's gonna be up in like 2 hours. I should just go to sleep now and get an extra 2 hours of sleep. Then it was like, but I really just want to stay awake and have some time to myself and like decompress from the day. And you know, it's really hard sometimes figuring out which is the right thing to do, what you should do. This is probably a super rambly video, but I didn't really know how to talk about these things. I didn't want it to sound like I'm you know, like a news anchor. I just wanted to be real with you guys. When you're in that space, in that mindset, you're not sleeping, things can be amplified and seem way worse and way more dramatic than they really are. That's normal, and you just have to do your best to process it. Allow yourself to not dwell on the negativity, but that it will happen and that it's no one's fault. Give your partner grace because they're going through their own experience with parenthood that you may not know anything about. Just appreciate each other, lean on each other. You're gonna need it. It's better to have a friend in it, a team player, than to make an enemy out of them. If you're in it together, it makes it so much easier. But I gotta put this laundry away. Juliana is napping, so I have to manage my time and figure out what I'm gonna do with my 30 minutes I might have left. So I'm gonna go find something to do, probably get some coffee, and we're gonna go to the library and do some things today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below if there's anything that I missed or that you experienced, or you feel like is common to experience that we just don't talk about. And I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye.
I know that I messed up. Wish I could take it